We set the roof on fire. We set the roof.
Everybody, I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. On the field today are two middle linebackers who will need to make plays in the pass and run game. It's the Panthers going up against the Broncos. With that, let's send you out to Denver. We're standing by in the booth are two men who will call the game for us. That's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Coming up, a rematch of Super Bowl 50 between the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos. They come out here in the eye. On 1st and 10, Simeon. Left side here to Sanders. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Here's the offense, and you got to talk about the guy that they nicknamed Bebe, Charles Demarius Thomas.
You worry about him catching the ball, but you worry more about what he does after the catch. Big, strong, physical. He makes plays downfield.
Now it's Simeon. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Virgil Green is tight end, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down. And the starting defense here for the Panthers.
Charles Johnson off the edge. A long day for any offensive tackle.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Throwing on 3rd down, Simeon. And he will have a man, Demarius Thomas. 9 yards on the play and a 1st down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass trick in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Here's Simeon now on 2nd down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made.
Watch it now, set, green, 39.
Simeon. No one's got it. Complete. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is 4th down.
Set, 319. 319.
They are going to go. It's Simeon. It's caught. He finds Norwood. Call it an even 20 yards on the pickup. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. Both sides were holding their breath there on that 4th down play, and the offense can breathe a sigh of relief.
and both knew exactly where the first down markers were. You know the defense is trying to guard those sticks and try and keep people in front, but somehow, some way, those guys found a way to pick it up.
What's left? What's left? Back down in that belly. Leopard. Here we go. Blue line.
First down. Here's the run with Anderson. A strong running. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
On second down, Anderson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
Sanders, the former SMU product, had 79 catches last year, over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. They're going to need more of him in Denver if they want to get back into the playoffs. Part
of a great tandem, he and Demaryius Thomas, and Demaryius plays out wide. He's one of those guys that you send him out there and let him work one-on-one and use his big body and his big frame to get open. Manuel Sanders, he has the ability to work inside as well. And he's not just quick, he's also fast, and he's dependable for a quarterback because a lot of the routes he runs are right in the sight line. Easy throws for a QB.
No gain on the play there. It'll be second down. They had the box stacked. That run was going nowhere from the start.
And when you say stacked, you really mean it, don't you? Because when you're talking about a 46 defense, commonly known as the Bear defense, you're covering up the guys inside, and you're allowing other people to get in there close to the line of scrimmage, usually an 8-man front. That's difficult to block for an offense. On that play, the defense won in a big way. No gain at all.
On second down, here's Simeon. Looking for Sanders, and it's intercepted. And nothing but daylight ahead. He's at the 50, 30, past the 20. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Panther touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
And you combine a big leg with a mile-high air, there's the outcome. This will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
To throw on second is Simeon. And this one complete to Virgil Green. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one down to about the 46-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
In the backfield is Anderson. He's going to get the football. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
On first down, it's Simeon. And caught right side, Green. And he'll go down at the 28. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And put a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. They come out here in the eye. Now a run with Anderson. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but, boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first.
I've yet to meet a wide receiver who likes to block more than catching the football, but the best ones understand that that's how they'll actually get more passes thrown to them if they help in the run game. And anytime you get a run of that yardage, that means the wide receivers did help. They get down to what a lot of people call the 2nd level, the linebackers, or the 3rd level where the defensive backs are, and they get out in front and put their bodies out there and create more space for their runners to gain the yardage.
All right, here we go.
Handoff comes to Anderson. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. 9 yards on the pickup there as he'll be left with 3rd and 1.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They'll run it. Here's Anderson. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches. The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches.
Here we go now.
And Simeon's going to sneak him. Call it a gain of 3. And the decision to go for it pays off. They've got a 1st and goal.
Well, they won't get the touchdown, but they'll get the next best thing as they're able to convert on 4th down, and they'll be left.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. Trevor Simeon taking it in. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying the football game.
Instead of having to play follow the leader there, the leader led.
I like that. And he likes that, doesn't he? 1st and goal, let me do the job.
Because you know when he falls into the end zone after falling behind those big guys who pushed up front, that's a pretty good celebration, isn't it?
Gives him a little street cred in the locker room, too, doesn't it?
Street cred, and then when they go out to dinner afterwards, he's still picking up the check.
And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 yards with a new rule as he's taken down right at the 20-yard line. Play fake here on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll throw it across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Akeem Talib. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
You can feel the anguish all the way up here. It certainly looked like he had that one in the end zone, open, unable to hold on to it.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green, 39. No. Check. All right, here we go. 56.
Anderson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
On 3rd down, Bunker. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
They'll come out in the pistol.
3-19. 56. Check. 56.
Now Anderson running right. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL, and a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college, they were safeties. They moved them up to outside linebacker to combat the spread offenses, and now we're seeing it in the NFL. Those same guys using their speed to make plays in the backfield, similar to that one.
They'll try the air now with Simeon. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
The offense staring at a 3rd and 12 here. Off the fake to Booker and Simeon. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, that's the down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. That incompletion. Charles gives me a chance to put you on the clock real quick. NFC teams last year that did not make the playoffs that might make a push this coming year.
Well, 3 that come to mind right away that we thought were going to be in 2016. Minnesota, remember the start they got off to before that didn't work out so well for them. Arizona, we thought they were locked to be in the playoffs. In fact, many of us called them Super Bowl contenders. And Carolina, the defending NFC champs going into last season, they didn't make it. So I think that all 3 could return to former glory. I'm going to give you one way off the pace here. You ready?
Let's go.
The Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh.
They get the young quarterback going, and that defense continues to live up to expectations. They can make a real strong push in the West.
They've got the D. You're right. They just need the O. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. They will go for it. Now Newton looking deep downfield. And this is going to be intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And they got across the 50 last time but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because if they take care of the ball, continue to move it, their chances of scoring some points, they've got to feel pretty good about. They thought they had things moving in the right direction last time. Fumbles, they don't just affect you on offense, they affect your overall team because now your defense has to make that stand up.
And now we're circling here around the 2-minute warning.
This is a setup play, trying to get one last one in before the clock warning.
Here we go.
And with that, it's 2-minute warning time here, the NFL on EA Sports. Just 2 yards to go here on second down for the offense.
Detroit! All right, here we go. 3-19.
Here's Simeon now on second down. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas.
Well, the bad news, the Denver Broncos didn't make the playoffs, but the good news for Demaryius Thomas, he was over 1,000 yards again as a receiver.
6th straight year he's done that, but yards per catch and touchdowns down a little bit. Any of that due to the change at quarterback?
Think about it. For him now, in the last 2 seasons, he's had to get used to 4 different quarterbacks throwing him the football. I think that yards per catch will go back up when he gets some consistency.
Well, you mind if we go off topic for a second?
No, let's go.
I like to do that randomly. AFC playoff contenders for this year that didn't make it last season. Who do you have that might get in?
Well, I think Cincinnati's got to be considered there. Maybe they'd have an offseason that's calm, and they go into this season and try and get back to the playoffs where they had been perennials. How about Denver?
Yeah.
Remember last year, they didn't have the quarterback to start. Trevor Siemian played pretty well overall, but maybe they can get solidified there and ride that strong defense right back into the playoffs. I'm going to give you a little bit off the pace. Indianapolis cannot afford to squander Andrew Luck, one of the better young quarterbacks in the game. They've got to get back to the playoffs. And Buffalo, brand new head coach, brand new people running the ball club. Let's see if they can figure it out, because I think defensively they can be awfully strong.
So here we go now. An extra defensive back in there on 3rd and 10.
Green 39. Green 39.
Throwing on 3rd down, Simeon. And that's incomplete. And you really can't pin that one on the quarterback, Charles. The O-line, they've got to protect better.
And they know it. That's their meal ticket. They want to take care of the big guy behind them. In this case, they let him down.
He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Here's Ginn. That's a 49-yard punt, 8 though on the return. And the Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let him get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down. Let's look ahead for a quick minute. We don't have the schedules yet for next year, but what we do have are the 5 international games that will be played, 4 in London and then 1 again in Mexico, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Miami, New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, Rams in Arizona, those in London, and then Mexico's going to get a great game. The Raiders and New England.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And just think about the ones in London. Remember, they're splitting them between the 2 different stadiums in London, so they get a different flavor in all of these places. But Mexico, for the 2nd straight year, the Raiders are coming to town. That should be a whole lot of fun.
Should be a ton of fun and a very good matchup. And the numbers down a bit from their Super Bowl year this season for Jonathan Stewart. Did have some injuries. He finished with 824 yards, 9 touchdowns, though. Good in that department.
When it's around the goal line, he's a terrific runner because he knows how to get there and he can run through contact, run through trash, as we like to say. That's part of the reason he accumulates the injuries that he does, because he runs inside a lot and takes on those linebackers. But they're going to work on Jonathan Stewart in the offseason, get him healthy, and have him back ready to go for next season.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Here's Newton. Flush to his right. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it, incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. 2nd and 10. Newton again. And Olsen over the middle.
Okay, I have to take a second here and talk about Greg Olsen, the tight end for the Carolina Panthers. 3rd straight year over 1,000 yards in receptions. And guess what? That's the first time that's ever happened in NFL history. 3 straight years by a tight end.
That's really something. Now 31 years of age. They're going to need him next year to turn it around because a very disappointing season.
Not the season anyone expected, least of all the Carolina Panthers, but he's a building block that they can go ahead and get back to form starting in 2017.
And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone. Throwing again is Newton. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that at just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Now Newton. He's got it for a Panther touchdown. Ed Dixon in the final seconds of the 1st half. And the Panthers have taken the lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25.